Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on TV. There's also a bell there that's called Join, Join. That is where you get to join the channel, and it has a membership fee monthly. So if you ever see me go live and you see the comment section on the live, in the chat box live, filled with names in green, that means that those people are given an extra level of support. They are people who pay them $9.99 every month to be a member, and they get to have conversations on the live. It is a privilege that is only given to them. Seen? So if you want to give the channel an extra level of support, then go ahead and hit the join button, follow the instructions, and join as well. Thank you in advance. Talk truth! Cause a truth will come for talk. And you know there are a lot of consequences that goes with speaking the truth, but that's okay. We're built for the consequences because truth is our purpose. Now, an article came out the other day that says that Vybz Kartel is now on 23 hours lockdown, and his attorney is trying to figure out how to get him out of that cruel situation that he is in. Apparently, another cell phone was found somewhere close in the vicinity of where Vybz Kartel is housed, on the cell block which part him there, in the prison. And he was the only one that was taken into 23 hours lockdown, and he remains there. It might very well be out now because I'm not in there, but as far as I'm hearing out here is that he is still on 23 hours lockdown. There are people we are hearing from on the inside that says he is being ill-treated by a certain superintendent who is flexing his powers, who is known for doing things that are besides the law or on the wrong side of the law behind those prison walls. We're going to talk about all that. Let's dispel the rumors first. There are vloggers, bloggers, whatever they want to call themselves out here. People will make video like me and say things that are not true for likes and views and whatever the hell else there is, their reason, their agenda. I don't know. But I've seen a few of them put out headlines saying Vybz Kartel was caught with a cell phone and now he is on 23 hours lockdown. That's not true. He was not caught with the cell phone. According to where he is locked up at, the authorities there explained that a raid was done on that section, on that cell block, and a cell phone was found. And Vybz Kartel was put in lockup. Nothing says he was caught with the cell phone. Alright, there are other people in there who the cell phone could very well have belonged to. Now, what Jamaican people and people around the world who are interested in not just Vybz Kartel music, but about what is going on with him behind bars, will he stay there? Will he not stay there? Will he be released after his appeal has been overseen, viewed, reviewed, and a decision has been made by the Privy Council in the UK? We are still awaiting that. The plot to silence Vybz Kartel did not work. This is what a lot of people do not understand. Let me say this again to you. The plot to silence Vybz Kartel did not work. See, what a lot of people do not understand is this. Vybz Kartel did not go to prison for murder. Vybz Kartel went to prison because of the level of influence he had. The amount of income, money he was generating. It is the same reason why if you are locked in, say, prison, or if you are in a army or somewhere, you can actually buy your contract out because they don't want you in there if you have a large amount of money at your disposal and a certain level of influence to come inside and take over their organization. I break that down for you like this. Vybz Kartel was becoming too influential, far more influential to the people of Jamaica than their political leaders were. I want you to think about this because politics is a very big thing in Jamaica. That is why you have people that say PMP me say till the day me dead, and others say JLP me say till the day me dead, and none of them actually care if PMP or JLP is actually helping the country, moving the country forward, and putting the country's interest at the forefront. All they care about is the color of their party and whatever else gatherings goes on with their party and how their prime minister or their leaders look. Me good up prime minister and these kind of things, right? They don't really care about the rest. So I say this again, Vybz Kartel was being more influential over the people of Jamaica, especially the minds of the young people over Jamaica, than the political leaders were. They were losing their influence, they were losing their grip, and there was this one man that was running the place, not only in the music and entertainment field, he was running the place as far as influence goes in general. So if he said move to the left, half of Jamaica move gone to the left. If he said move to the right, the next half move gone to the right, and the political leaders were not able to do that, so they felt threatened, and the Vybz Kartel had to go. The first plot they came up with was to silence him. Not to mention, Vybz Kartel has never been one of those calm people who bites his tongue and is afraid to speak. So he said what he was saying all the time, and many people who were in positions of power were offended because they could not silence him, and because they could not silence him, they also could not take away his influence. So they designed a way to take away his influence and to silence his voice. Here's the problem. It backfired. The plot to silence Vybz Kartel did not work. As a matter of fact, it backfired in a big way. Vybz Kartel is now more popular than he has ever been before. Throughout the years we knew him before he went to prison, that was his rise to fame. That was him approaching the pinnacle. Those 10-11 years he has done in prison in Jamaica so far has catapulted him off into the stratosphere as a global icon and an international star. Whether you want to feel that way about him or not, this is factual. Other people who are very influential outside of Jamaica in the entertainment, music business, acting world, and in government know of Vybz Kartel. You understand? Okay. The plan backfired. They tried everything to silence him, to reduce his influence. That was the original plan. Did you all forget that their desperate attempt to assassinate his character? Let me remind you a little bit. So remember when the cell phone was taken from the police officer out of the evidence room, and the cell phone was brought home by that police officer, and that same cell phone was put back in the evidence room, and the police officer confessed in court that he did that. That same cell phone was used still as a valid piece of evidence to convict Vybz Kartel. It's a big part of his case. Tampered evidence. Heavily tampered evidence. Off of that, once that cell phone was stolen, there were a bunch of pictures that were released to the public. Pictures that you would call private pictures. You know, you have a man who has many women, and he is doing things of sexual nature with these women, and a lot of them are allowing him to videotape it on his phone, etc. But that is something he keeps for himself. Right. They exposed those things to the public that was on his phone. See, there was one video there where he looked like he was having intercourse with a girl, or maybe he was just dancing, but the tie, the necktie he was wearing was in the way. They ran that in the media for the longest, saying that Vybz Kartel was sexing the girl in her bottom. And from that, now remember, I know this is Jamaica we're talking about, and a decade ago in Jamaica, it is very different from forward in a decade to today when it comes to sexing in bottom argument and that type of thing. So they tried that first. It did not work. They went ahead and tried many other things. This is where the number 2 cell came from. Like, you know, when time Mavado and Vybz Kartel was lyrically going at it, Gully versus Gaza thing, and the number 2 cell talk, something came out. Okay, that is why people were running with the number 2 thing. Yes, him did a sex girl in a them bottom, them man they a bottom man him. Now him probably in a prison, a sex man in a them bottom, and that's why them put him in a number 2 cell. When he was never in any number 2 cell. But again, the plot was to diminish his influence, tarnish his character, silence his voice, right? Alright. Remember when the commissioner of police got on national television in Jamaica and said Vybz Kartel is a gang leader who is responsible for a gang, or he leads a gang that is responsible for over 100 murders across the island of Jamaica. That was his deliberate attempt, the system's deliberate attempt to vilify him, to paint him in a way where every Jamaican almost would have no problem with what they were about to do to him, which is give him a life sentence. Now, when Mr. Ellington said that on television, that Vybz Kartel is the leader of a gang that is responsible for over 100 murders across the island, do you know that up till today there is not one shred of proof to back that bold statement, that inflammatory statement that was made by this person who held such high and prestigious position on national television? And may I tell you that most Jamaicans, especially those who are, I would say, 35 and older, they take what law enforcement says as law. Majority of them do as gospel. Because contrary to popular belief, most Jamaicans are law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. Yes, we have gunmen around the place, and we have killers, and we have people who abide outside of the law and break the law and don't care. But majority of the population are law-abiding, tax-paying citizens, and they really don't want the killing thing in their face, on their island, around them, but they have been forced to live with it. When that got out of control, they had to find a scapegoat. What better way to have the people turn against him than to say he is responsible for a gang, or he is the leader of a gang that is responsible for over 100 murders across the island. To this day, I am still flabbergasted that he was allowed to actually do that and get away with it. Okay, that didn't work either. His influence continued to grow, even behind bars. Did you notice that the Klansman One Dan Gang trial that came about the other day? When the Klansman One Dan Gang trial came about, did you notice that one of their so-called crown witnesses, key witness, who claimed that he was one of the gang members and him know things and he's seen things, and he went and testified against them? Don't you remember that out of the blue, Vybz Kartel's name was introduced into that again? Vybz Kartel, me talk to him personally on the phone. Him order 2 murders. Y'all forgot that? Knowing that this man has an appeal before the board in the UK at the Privy Council, awaiting a decision on his appeal, they have tried everything so far, to include attacking his attorney. The DPP has done that, accusing him of being unprofessional, or conduct that is unprofessional and unbecoming to the profession. They have tried every single thing so far, and none of it has worked. Okay? So again, the plot to silence Vybz Kartel did not work. As a matter of fact, it backfired. And here's the next plan now. Now we are getting information from people who we deem to be credible, that are telling us that if they cannot silence him, SouFlo, the next step is to kill him. Yes, to kill him. But you see, here is the way. They cannot kill him just like that. They can't. Because they would martyr him. And if they martyr him and he becomes even greater in death than he was in life, there's going to be problems. Heads are going to roll. Nobody wants that on their hands. Y'all know how Jamaica is, right? People move silent and then other people end up dead. And then you don't know is why them end up dead. Why are their families being attacked? Why is this old lady get shoot up? Why that old man get shoot down? It's the grandmother and the grandfather and the mother and the father of an individual they're trying to get to. And then when they get to the individual, them slap him too. And the wife can get it and the kids can get it. Walk with me as I explain to you what I'm trying to say here. Killing Vybz Kartel is not so easy behind bars. It has to look like he died from natural causes. The story would read, to their enjoyment, that Vybz Kartel went to prison, did about 11-12 years out of a life sentence, and while he was awaiting a decision from the Privy Council on his appeal, because the man said him never do what them send him go to prison for, while he was awaiting that, he died in prison of natural causes. Remember Jim Brown? Y'all go do some history. This is how they operate. Remember Jim Brown? Jim Brown was burnt to a crisp in a prison, in a cell in Jamaica. Right? And go do the backstory to that. And you might see why. But the answer to give to the people out the street was a natural cause. Fire break out in the institution. And, you know, prisoner in a cell. And guards have to run before them burn up themselves. And man get burned up in there. Right. Right. So, having Vybz Kartel locked down 23 hours a day. Maybe even sometimes he doesn't get out at all. In a poorly ventilated, poorly lit space. In an area of the prison, I am hearing, that is dusty, heavily dusty. And that is not conducive to his health. Simply means that the health issues that he has will be exacerbated by the conditions that they place him in. That is on spite, that is on purpose, and that is the reason why they are doing it. Every little chance to lock him into somewhere where he can hardly breathe, where it's full of dust in there, probably have all asbestos in there, he's going to get sick. He's going to get sicker. And eventually they will say, well, you know, he always had this certain medical condition and he suffered from that. And, you know, it just took its toll over time. That is the plan. Please remember this. When you become wealthier than most of the leaders of your country, or you become a person that has the potential to gain more wealth than the leaders, when you carry such heavy influence that your influence outweighs their influence over the people, but you are not with their agenda, you are a problem. Let me repeat that for you again. When you become wealthier or have the potential to become wealthier and has exercised, shown the potential to become wealthier than most of the leaders of your country, and we're talking about wealthy in every way. We're talking about financially wealthy. We're talking about owning things. We're talking about status. And then you carry more influence than them. They can't tell the people to go left if you told them to go right. They're more likely to listen to you than to the politician or the leader, so-called elected leaders, to include church leaders, not just politicians. When you become more influential than them, more wealthier than them, with more influence over the people and the youths than them, but you are not siding with their agenda, you are a problem. You become enemy of the state. Yes. So the next time you see an article and a headline that says Vybz Kartel might be in danger, they're locking him in 23 hours, his health issues are flaring up. You know, remember when Kartel put out the picture the other day where his eyes were bulging out? We know what type of condition he has. It is public knowledge now, right? But we also know of what causes this condition to flare up, to attack the individual. And we also know what conditions would make this medical issue not go away, but manageable. But we know why they're doing what they're doing. So the next time you see one of those, please remember this video right here and what was said here. Let me end the video by saying this. Right now, Vybz Kartel released a EP. Again, the man just gave us an album the other day and give you our next EP just now. The EP bad. I just saw my favorite song on it is Home by Savo and Vybz Kartel, or Vybz Kartel and Savo, who used to be Savage or Savage. And the video just came out, and the video is exactly the kind of video I thought it should have been. I'm not doing a musical promotion. I'm just showing you that regardless of what the man is facing, he still manages to hold influence. He still manages to be making a living and to be taking care of his family. Remember, you know, Vybz Kartel children, they don't live poor people life. They're not sufferers and strugglers. They don't have hands out begging people for anything. And most people, most men who go to prison for over a decade and leave their children out here in the free world, them wife gone to next man, their daughter pregnant, them teenage daughter pregnant, them son mix up in a gangbanging and all these kind of things, or end up in prison where their daddy is at. That is the statistics. His children are none of the above. They're growing up fine, they're intelligent, they're making their own money now, they're gaining their own stardom now, and them live rich people life. So that in itself is an offense to a lot of people who wanted to tear him down in many ways. And that is even more influential now to the youths them of a new generation who is able to see that. All who just born come here to man the music now is now a big fan AC of Vybz Kartel as well. So yeah, the goal, the aim, the plot to silence Vybz Kartel did not work. So now there is a plot to take him out. But to take him out, them can't do it just so. They have to make it in a way where it looks like it was natural due to an illness that he has trouble with for years. I'm going to leave this video right here for now. Let that marinate, right? And no, I don't take bad up in my own comment section, so I erase people's comment when they're disrespectful. And no, you don't have to agree with me, but you do have to keep it respectful. And I'll catch you on another video. Hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. And also share the video if you choose. If not, then oh well, so it go. And for those who are members of the channel, big up and thank you very much as we continue to grow, as we continue to spread truth, as we continue to walk with purpose. And to those who want to become a member of the channel, just hit that join button next to the subscribe button and go ahead and become a member. I thank you in advance. I'm out. Peace. Alright, my SouFLoTV audience, listen, I've been wondering for the longest, why has Jamaica not gone totally solar yet? After all, Jamaica has powerful sunshine all year round. And people are in darkness in certain areas, especially in rural areas. And they've been that way for decades, waiting on government to install street lights. Well, Soninka solar lights. These are commercial grade lights, perfect for rural areas, perfect for dark corners and lanes, perfect for the backyard, the front yard, down the road. driveway lighting, stores, perfect for the farm, waterproof and remote control. Make your surroundings safer. Jamaica has sun all year round, and you will have no problem keeping these lights charged. Did I mention that they are commercial grade and they are remote controlled? You don't have to wait on government to install lights. Some people in some areas have been waiting for decades, literally decades, and they are still in the darkness. These are easy to install. Get in touch with Saninka and they will do the rest for you. And the best part is this: you don't have to pay a monthly light bill. No, this not gonna bother you like a JPS bill because it's charged by the sun. So take yourself out of the darkness now. Increase your safety now. Get in touch with Saninka Solar and thank me later. Come on, man. Watch there. All the contact information is right there for you. IG, email, phone number, which you can call by WhatsApp, which is free globally. Go on. Get yourself out of the darkness and into the light.